Good morning. My greetings to the audience of the An Academy. My name is Viswanathan. I was selected in the civil service exam in 1977, and let me adjust. And I was selected, and I joined the service in 1977. And I retired as ambassador in 2012. I call myself as an accidental ambassador because I became a diplomat without knowing its implications, its consequences, and what it would take to become a diplomat. Let me explain it to you. There are, I know among you people, among the people who aspire to join the civil service, there are three kinds of people. First, there are those who are fully equipped with competence, knowledge, confidence, and an encouraging ecosystem. Wow. They crack the exam and they know what they want and they come up. Then there are the second category of people. These are, they have some confidence, some knowledge, some competence, and a system to cheer them up. But at the same time, they also suffer from self-doubt, lack of confidence, and they are not sure if they have all that it takes to crack it. So it is some confidence and some lack of confidence and doubts. Then there is the third category of people who are blessed with pure innocence and ignorance. And I belong to the third category. You know, when I appeared for this exam, I had no idea. In fact, let me tell you how I got into foreign service. You know, when I filled up the application form, in the prospectus, it was given as on the top Indian Foreign Service, and then Indian Administrative Service, and then the other services. Now, I just copied it as my choice and preference. So I had given without knowing that Indian Foreign Service was my first choice. And I got selected. After I got selected, then I told my friends, hey, I got selected, now I want to go and see somebody who has already been selected, who is in civil service, to meet someone in flesh and blood. So they took me to a collector in Chennai. There's a lady. She heard me out and heard my background and said, hey, you have joined the wrong service. Foreign service is not your cup of tea. You know, you are a country bumpkin, you come from a village, you come from a poor rural background. So you won't survive in this high profile foreign service. I got a shock. Then I asked her, can I change it? Can I join IFS? She said, now it's too late, you can't. That's how I ended up in foreign service. In fact, even the way I appeared for the exam was not because of any conscious choice or that I had a dream to become a civil servant or diplomat. I was working in a college as lecturer in Chennai, and a friend of mine, a colleague, he had appeared for this exam the first time, and but he didn't make it. So I see some people asking me to speak English. Oops, sorry, I'm not good. He appeared for the first time, he didn't make it, so he was going to write for the second time. And then he said, why don't you join me? I said, why not? So he showed me the materials, and then I started, and lucky I made it. But even my life before this was not something which would prepare me for the civil service. I was born in a village of about 600 people in a place called Alangudi Mahajanam. It's a small village about 35 kilometers from a town called Trichy. And my family owned half an acre of land. I was the eldest and I had two younger brothers. So life was a struggle. But fortunately, there was an uncle in a village which is about 50 kilometers from my village. He adopted me because he had no children. And I went and joined him. But he thought he would, since he had no children, I could inherit his land. So he wanted me to do the work in the fields, look after the cattle. So he discouraged me from studying. He said, no, here are land and cattle and you can take over. So he would, every year when I had to go for a new year, 4th class, 5th class, like that, he would say, enough. But somehow, it happened that I got lucky and I finished the school in a Tamil medium school. And I had to walk 4 kilometers to my school without shoes, barefooted. And there was no electricity. I was using a kerosene lamp. And after I finished there was no toilet there. And when I finished the school, there was college, a rural college called Pundi Pushpam College. That's also 4 kilometers to the east. So I went for PUC and I did my BSc. And on the way, since I was walking in the east for 4 kilometers after doing work in the fields in the morning, the sun was against me. So as soon as I reached the college and started my first class, sitting under a fan, I would go off to sleep immediately. So all my friends would make fun of me, the guy who sleeps in the first class. And I would sit in the first row and sleep. And it was a rural college, and the quality you could imagine. Then afterwards I had a break. I came to Chennai and joined college in Chennai and did my post-graduation. So that's the story before my joining the civil service. Now, after having unconsciously and without plan joining the civil service and become a diplomat, now when I look back, I feel very enriched and I feel so happy that I was part of the story of the India's foreign policy, India's relations with the world. And I found that I was blessed and I had lots of interesting positive advantages in the foreign service. Which I think, looking back, if you give me a chance now, I would have consciously take foreign service. Now, the reason why I am so happy and I feel so enriched by the foreign service is that, firstly, it put me in a global stage. Or a little guy coming from a little village from a rural background to be put on a global stage is something amazing. Because the world had become my stage. The world had become my playing field. I was an actor and player in the world stage, going from one end of the world to the other and meeting people, political leaders and presidents and prime ministers and traversing across cultures, countries. It was an amazing experience. And I grew out of my, mindset of conditioned by a village, by my state, by my language, by my country, and I became a global citizen with a global awareness and a global mindset, understanding the world holistically and what the history, the civilization, the societies. That was thrilling. It was exciting to have a whole view of the world, understand the global issues of war and peace and the building of societies and destruction of societies, and how the United Nations helps in some cases with preventive diplomacy or stops war, global environment issues, intellectual property, trade, investment, capital flows. So a whole range of global issues. I got to learn, I got to understand, I got to appreciate, and I developed a global perspective and a global vision. This is something interesting for a little guy from a little village. Secondly, my job meant that I had to understand other cultures, other people, learn other languages, deal with foreigners, other countries, and understand them, appreciate them, and then build bridges between India and those countries, establish communications, facilitate conversation and dialogue between India and those countries, and promote the interests of India in terms of trade, investment, enhancing the image of India, building cultural relations, building scientific cooperation, in some cases cooperation in agriculture, technology, a whole range of issues. That was something thrilling. One of my best postings professionally was in Pakistan. When I got posted to Karachi in 1981, I went there like an average Indian with all the prejudices and complexes that partition and the background, and I had all the negative views which are normal for Indians to have. And then I had to disabuse my mind. I had to clear my mind of all these prejudices and preconceived notions and what I read about Pakistan. I had to clear my mind of these things and start from a scratch. Look at the people of Pakistan as like anybody else. And then I started understanding them, appreciating them, and making friends with them. At one stage I used to say that I had more friends in Karachi than in Delhi. The Pakistanis are as good as Indians or as bad as Indians. We have the same history, same emotions. But it's a pity that the army and the politicians and other external players, they have these unfriendly relations with India. But for me, it was I had to go the extra mile to understand and make friends with Pakistan. And the result was that, for example, when Jamaat-e-Islami, the religious extremist party, when they would send their people to protest against the Indian consulate, they would call me on the phone and say, "Hey, amigo, friend, friend, and our people are coming, you take care." So we were able to make friends, even in a country which is seen as an adversary, as an enemy. So this is something interesting. And thirdly, as a diplomat, as an ambassador, you represent India. So people see what from you and what you say and what you talk. They see India. So you have to represent India, which means you have to have a full understanding of India. Overall, Indian culture, history, civilization, traditions, and you have to explain to them. So I had given lots of lectures in universities, think tanks, and chambers of commerce, and across all the available platform in foreign countries, explaining about India, about particularly the new India in the last about 2 decades, and this it gave you a sense of being an Indian. When you are outside, you are even more Indian, because you have a sense of mission, and representing India, particularly in the last 2 decades. It is very interesting and very exciting. And personally, it was the Foreign Service and had contributed to my growth. Apart from contributing to India's foreign policy, the foreign posting contributed my own personal growth. Um, uh, it gave the best conditions for a cosmopolitan global growth. When you get posted to countries, you meet the cream of the society there. You meet the presidents, prime ministers, civil servants, businessmen, scientists, students, the cultural personalities, the writers, artists. You deal with the cream of the society. That opens new eyes, new doors, and it's very exciting. And your interaction with the local people and your movement over there gets facilitated by the glamour which is attached as an ambassador. Wherever you go, they greet you as Your Excellency. That boosts your ego, and it opens doors. And people say Your Excellency, and you get meetings easily, and wherever you go, it opens doors. For example, when I used to play for golf, my secretary would call up the golf courses and say, the ambassador wants to play. Sure, when I go there would be the president and captain of the golf course would come and say, Your Excellency, you're welcome. And then when I'm playing with them, they would say, hey, I'm playing golf with the Indian ambassador. That kind of thing. So it facilitates your interaction with the local people, this glamour which is attached to the job. And then, of course, it gets lubricated by the best wine and whiskey and champagne and caviar and parties. The parties are fun, and you get to meet a lot of people, and everyone is lively and spirited, and you get all kinds of people. And there are the countries celebrate national days. There are over 180 countries. So if you like, you can attend parties, 180 days of National Day parties besides the other parties. So it's for people who like it. It's not only glamour and prestige, but also you meet different kinds of people, and in a kind of fun atmosphere. So enjoy it. Now, after my retirement in 2012, I have been continuing what I was doing officially, promotion. The last 16 years of my service I had spent in Latin America. I became an expert in Latin America. I learned, I speak Spanish and Portuguese, and I give public speeches in these two languages. I read Spanish and Portuguese. I read even now novels. So I have become an expert on the region. I give lectures in India in CII, FICCI, Export Promotion Councils, universities, think tanks, and business schools, explaining to them about New America, about the new Latin America. And I also attend conferences in Latin America, talking about the new India and promotion of business, trade, and investment between India and this region. And I enjoy this one, opening the eyes of the Indians, because Indians don't know much about Latin America, so I open their eyes and do the same with the Latin Americans also. So I have found my passion in life, since 1996. So that is why my signature line is passionate about Latin America. I really love Latin America. It's a region of great people, lively people, and very interesting people, and their literature, films, and the society and the way of life. It's extremely interesting, and I subscribe to the Latin American view of life, which is there's a Spanish song. It's called "Celebra la vida, segundo a segundo, nada se guarda, todo se prende." It means celebrate life from second to second. Don't hold anything. Give out everything. When I retired from Argentina, in my farewell party, my friends gave me an advice, Ambassador, don't stop having fun when you are old. You become old only when you stop having fun. Well, I keep having fun. Now, I have a small word of advice to you guys who are preparing for the civil service exam. I know it's you are anxious, you are nervous, and you are working very hard towards your objective of getting selected in the service. But at the same time, you must not do it as a duty, as a sacrifice. You must enjoy the process. You must enjoy the journey. You must do it with a passion, and you must start liking what you do and enjoying what you do, and you should have fun. It doesn't matter whether you get selected or not. In any case, all those who are selected, it doesn't mean they are the smartest people, and those who don't get selected, it doesn't mean they are the dumb people. So you should give your best, but while doing your best, you should enjoy the process of preparing for the civil service. Good luck to all of you. Thank you. Bye.